Hello and welcome. I'm your host, Arshawn McAway. You're tuned in to Wow Podcast. By all means, go to wowpodcast.me. That's wowpodcast.me. Now, today we have a special guest. We have Blaise Hunter. She's here to talk to us about her latest book, Heroine. Blaise, how are you doing?
Great. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. So let's talk about your latest book. What is it about?
Yeah, so I published a book called Heroine, Embrace Your Flaws and Own Your Awesome. And it's about rising up and being the hero of our lives. And no one has a perfect life, perfect body, perfect relationship, perfect kids, but we all try to portray this perfection that we've got it all together. So I'm really just trying to promote, let's take off those masks, let's show our vulnerability, and let that be our superpower, let that be the strength so we can rise up and be the hero of our lives.
So why do you think we need a hero in these times?
You know, I think we're in crucial times where mental health is affecting kids and adults, men and women. Everyone is going through different challenges. People are struggling. We're in the middle of a pandemic. I was drowning in darkness at one point in my life. I just had this aha moment where I thought, you know, I just need someone to rescue me. And in the words of Bonnie Tyler, I need a hero. But if we're all dealing with these things and these struggles, it's hard to get someone else to come and rescue you because they're all going through their own stuff. So I just had this moment where I decided I needed to become my own hero. And that is the answer. If we can all just tap into our own superpowers, we do have the capability to rescue ourselves and rise to the ashes and breathe fire.
Now, throughout your life, you've experienced some very difficult emotions and physical capabilities. I know in your book you talk about miscarriages. What was the effect emotionally towards you, and what was your epiphany afterwards?
Yeah, going through this whole book and just writing through a lot of painful traumas in my life, it really boils down to the key message of the book, which is love. Do I truly love myself? Do I allow that love to be felt around the world? And do I love my life enough to fight for it? You know, I'm not the only one that has experienced miscarriages or traumas. No one is immune to these problems. We all have these setbacks. But can we hold the line on the love to push through and be the hero of my own story? And I did. I battled self-hatred. I had rejection. My dad actually faked his own death and abandoned me due to his own emotional mental health problems. And I felt unworthy. And that followed me into my adult life. And then experiencing those 3 miscarriages, I felt like an unworthy mother, that my babies didn't want me. So it was a lot of inner turmoil of that I wasn't lovable and I wasn't enough and I had no purpose. So I just kept sinking deeper. But I finally just had this moment where, like, either you're done and this is it and this is how my story ends and you're just not lovable and you're going to experience pain and darkness your whole life, or do I take a step towards the light and fight for my life again? And that was the key. You know, I had to just decide I'm worthy, I'm enough. I just needed to remove all those filters and lies and get back to the core of who I was, that I'm perfectly imperfect. And the moment I shifted that perspective, I was able to shift my way out of that darkness and really understand what my identity was and own who I was and walk in that love. And love is the superpower and the key to being the hero of your life.
So what can we do about our self-image? I know, I have a little girl and I'm married, and I try to, make sure I kind of censor what she watches because I don't want her to think that she's not pretty, because the stereotypes are out there, digitally. What can we do as men to not pressure women about their image?
I think the number one thing is, why is our body image the measure of our beauty, the measure of our worth, the measure of being a woman? And we need to take like a complete shift of what we're measuring being beauty and worthy and allow it to be what's in our soul, in our heart, our character, our integrity, our passions, what makes us unique. Allow that to be the measure. So my advice to men and to women is, like, let's shift the focus off outward beauty. And yes, that is part of us, but it's only 1/3. We're mind, body, and soul. So really, let's have this conversation about what makes you beautiful beyond your outward appearance, your smile, your character, all these personality traits, right? Focus on that. When you talk to your daughter, you don't say, you look pretty. You talk about, wow, you're so creative. You look smart today. And really focus on the character aspect, not just the physical aspect.
Since this is your life's work, what do you want your last impression to be?
I always wake up every morning and say, like, how am I going to leave an impact on the world? What is my legacy? I want to have a footprint on this world when I leave it, and I want it to be positive. And I want people to remember me as that I left them feeling that they were loved and they were worthy and they had a positive experience with me. So I hold the line on that. And that's for me as well. That creates that heroine mentality to be the hero for my life and inspire others to walk through the fire and be their hero. So it's all about the impact. And I want that to be love, that people felt loved around me and enough.
So how does one take a step towards being their own hero?
I think we can get caught up in that storyline of negativity and these problems and setbacks. And we do lose sight that we actually control the narrative of our life. We can always change our perspective. We can't change what's happening or control the process, but we do control how we look at it. And there's this famous quote, no grit, no pearl. So we get focused and lose sight on the grit, but we can't rise through the ashes unless we go through the fire. So we need to shift that perspective, draw on those flames, on that heat, and face the fire. Don't run from it. Don't avoid it. Don't mask it up. Turn to the problem and say, I'm going to draw on that grit and allow it to become my pearl. Every single one of us, we all have a unique destiny to birth. We all have a purpose. So just like the oyster, that grit, that sand that comes in, it's a parasite and it comes to destroy it. But that first step is to say, no, I'm not going to let this end me today. This is not how my story ends, but I'm going to draw on that grit, coat it over and over until I make it my pearl, until I make it my gift, until I overcome it and rise up and be the hero. That's the first step. Face the fire, face the problem, and keep attacking it until it becomes your pearl.
Love it. I love that advice. Do you do any one-on-one sessions?
Yes. So I am a fertility expert, but no, I don't help people get pregnant. This is a different type of expertise. Actually, with my business, Blaise the Trail Inc. Consulting, I actually teach people to birth confidence and self-worth, to birth their voice and speak their truth, to birth their books and their stories of their lives, their brands and their business, as well as discover peace amongst infertility. You yourself aren't barren. We still have things to birth, and we can be fertile in our life and experience abundance even in other pockets that aren't going through fertility. If we're not birthing there, we can birth other things. And we're all mothers of purpose and fathers of dreams. So let's rise up, be the heroes of our lives, and inspire our children to be world changers and earth shakers.
So let's tell everyone where they could follow you on social media and also learn more about your books and purchase your book.
Yeah, so you can head to my website, blaisehunter.com. Blaise is B-L-A-I-S-E, hunter.com. And everywhere there on my website, you can find all my links and different consulting programs. I have a podcast as well, so this is exciting to be a guest on a podcast, Blaise the Trail Podcast. It's everywhere online as well. So yeah, if you're interested in getting inspired and tapping into your own unique superpower and rising up as the hero of your life, contact me today. We can do this together and be fertile in our lives.
My name is Darshawn McAway. I'm the host of Wow Podcast. We're talking to author Blaise Hunter about her latest book, Heroine. Blaise, thank you so much for coming on to the podcast.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too. See ya.